Hello everyone, welcome to episode 77 of this awesome, amazing Osu Let's Play series. In the last episode, I talked about the featured artist system in this game, what it is and how it works. And in this episode, I want to tell you guys a story, sort of take you on a journey in the realm of tournament teams, and specifically one that I played on called Rubber Conquest. I'll tell you sort of the legacy that it holds, at least in my opinion. So I'll tell you how it started and, some bits of history about the team. But before we get into any of that, I'd like to shout out, as usual, that I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv. So if you'd like to hang out with me live or watch me play this game live or ask me questions, anything like that, please stop by, say hello. And also, bonus points if you tell me that you came from this Let's Play series. We'll be very, very happy to see you there. So yes, I'll take you on a bit of an adventure. So the year was 2017, and that was the first year that I played on the Osu World Cup, along with a couple other players. So notable names here are going to be Apraxia and Monko2k. Those two, it was also their first time playing in the World Cup in 2017 for the United States. And along with us, so some names I won't mention because they're not relevant to the story, but other players on that World Cup team were, let's see, Fiery Rage, Idki, and Toy Bickler. Toy, really just known as Toy, right? So Toy, me, Apraxia, Monko2k, Fiery, and Idki. So we were on the 2017 World Cup team, and long story short, we ended up getting second place in that tournament. It was a very devastating experience because that was literally circumstance. But anyway, we ended up losing in 2017, and we were like, all right, you know what? This is not happening again next year. We are going to be so good at this game. But okay, so there's a bit of backstory to that as well. So before, I guess during the 2017 World Cup, so there were some recurring tournaments at the time that people always knew were coming up. People always know towards the end of the year the Osu World Cup is going to be a thing, right? And there were some recurring annual community tournaments where that used to be the case as well. And there was this one named SMT Winter. This is annual 4v4 open rank tournament, and Apraxia, being the captain team creator that he is, he wanted to make a team and try to win that tournament. So he wanted to make the team mostly the same time zone. So he invited most of the top players from the United States. So largely the same team as the World Cup roster, to be honest. So it was me, Apraxia, Monko, Toy, Fiery, and Idki. So 6 people. And we needed 2 more. So we ended up getting Azer, who is from Canada, so basically the same time zone. And then I think Monko had played with Cookie Z before in some other tournaments, and so Monko just asked Cookie, because Cookie was he's from South Korea, or I think he was living in Japan at the time, but he was pretty much nocturnal, so he basically had North American time zone. So we ended up asking him to play for that tournament, and he was like, okay, sure. So those were our 8 players for a tournament named SMT Winter. So we had made that team kind of a couple months in advance, and before the tournament was even posted publicly, because we knew it was going to happen. But the real legacy of Rubber Conquest is sort of in the same vein as, I guess, recurring tournament teams as a whole, because the thing with Osu is that in community tournaments, people don't really, stick with the same team. There's no signed rosters or anything like that, or esports organizations for Osu. No one's really signed to a team. It's really just you just sign up for fun, basically. But it was always really cool, sort of in the sense of a community aspect, where you would have recurring teams in team tournaments that you would always be able to expect to see. That used to actually be a thing in around 2015. There were teams what was it? There's bus drivers, I'm pretty sure. Bus crackers. I think there was team burst limit for some time as well. But anyway, yeah. I think hopefully those old school viewers, hopefully that rings a bell to some of you. But we were in a call, so it was 5 of us, I think, and me, Apraxia, Monko, Toy, and Azer. And we were in a call, I think, discussing the team name that we were going to use, but then also just sort of on the topic, I think it was especially Azer who was just talking about how he kind of missed those days where like tournament teams were very recurring, and that wasn't really a thing anymore. The time period, right, for context was early 2018 or like very late 2017, and we basically said that like, okay, well, there's a couple of reasons why I think like teams don't really stick together. You know, partly, you know, I guess there's no incentive, and it's fun to play with many different people, right? But I think time zones can also definitely be an issue if you're playing with multiple people in like tournaments at the same time. Then it can be really hard to schedule all of your matches. But I think having like the same time zone of everyone on your team makes it a lot easier, obviously. And I don't know, it was just like always really hard to find a team with like, I don't know, like synergy, team synergy that sort of supported, you know, sticking with each other for many, many tournaments. And I think we were like, okay, you know what, let's try to do that. Okay, we gotta bring this back to some extent. And so Rubber Conquest. Okay, so the story behind the name though. So in that same voice call where we were discussing, you know, that like having a sort of established roster is something that Osu needs more of. So we were deciding team names for the SMT Winter Tournament, and we did it through none other than random word generator. So I think it was Toy largely who was like just rolling random like word combinations of like 2 words, and they were there for like 4 hours, I'm pretty sure, or like, you know, like anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours. I don't really remember. They were just there like rolling random like word combinations. The very first word combination that they rolled was Rubber Conquest, and we ended up rolling a bunch of them and like, you know, pinning our favorites, and then we ended up choosing the very first one, and then we signed up for the tournament, and that was Rubber Conquest. So, right, so the 5 people in that call plus Cookiesy, Idki, and Fiery. So at the time, so it had definitely gotten a lot better, but we, like, in sort of creating an established roster, we wanted a team that was, like, I guess very reliable, and I think Idki and Fiery especially were known to be very, like, how do I put this, like, unreliable, or they would sometimes just, like, I don't know, like, disappear for some time, and we were like, I think it's probably better to stick with, like, a staple core lineup, and then you can always, like, mix up the last few slots for each tournament. So there was a core 5 of us, so me, Apraxia, Monko, Toy, Azer, right? And then yeah, like after a couple days, I think the reason why we didn't ask Cookie is because we were like, maybe he like I don't know, maybe he wouldn't want to join. So, but then I think we realized that like every time we were filling in the last 3 slots, we were gonna end up asking him anyway. So then we just asked him if he wanted to like join us as like sort of staple lineup for most tournaments, and he said, you know, sure, but he might end up joining other tournaments as well. Oh my god, why can I not play this intro? Oh my god. But yeah, he was like, sure, but I might, you know, not play with you every single time. And we were like, okay, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Oh my god, this map is insane. But yes, I think the legacy of Rubber Conquest, I think, comes down to we were really the only team at the time that was doing anything like this. Oh my god, why can I not play this map? What? Hello? Oh my god. Interesting. I'm like trying to figure out the offset and it's just not working. What? Earlier I was hitting early on everything and now I'm just hitting late on everything. That's very interesting. What's going on? But yes, anyway, basically, we were all very, like, tournament mode throughout 2018. It's very interested in playing tournaments. What? Dude, episode mode. I actually have no idea what's happening. But yeah, we sort of, throughout 2018, we're just kind of known to sign up for, like, all the tournaments, all the team tournaments, and we just kind of, like, won all of them. not necessarily because we were like, oh, super tryhard mode. Like, we obviously tried our best in those tournaments, right? But in my eyes, it largely came down to the fact that, like, there weren't that many teams doing the same thing as us. There was actually another team, so, like, really the only one that comes to mind is a team named Floating Up. And this was a largely South Korean roster captained by someone named Gomo. And I think common names on that team were usually Aristia, also known as Pring. There was Prey, Yang. Let's see. I actually, well, many other names are not coming to mind right now, but I think those are the ones that like really stood out in my mind. Was Zayson there that often? Okay, I have no idea. But yeah, largely South Korean roster, and they would always make it to the end of tournaments. Like, they would always make it to grand finals with us. And admittedly, we would usually end up beating them. Yeah, I think there were some... Okay, so like over the next few months, the roster sort of evolved, and like Floating Up definitely had its reign over community tournaments. I think especially throughout 2019, they were kind of winning everything. But yeah, definitely throughout 2018, it was Rubber Conquest supremacy to an extent where, except for one tournament, Got Aim Fast, we signed up for that tournament with our little Core 6, and then our two fill-ins were Rafis and Wobblefolv, and that tournament was just destined to not be cared about. I feel like we got like top 6 or top 8 or something like that. That was an interesting time, but other than that, pretty sure everything we signed up for ended up being first place. So let's go team. But yeah, I think, I don't know, there's some like a legacy to be said, or I guess shared about. I don't know, I feel like since then there hasn't really been anything like it. There has been like, to lesser extent, or like less structured extents. I think that, I don't know, in modern times there's like The Nation, I'm pretty sure, which is Edward and it's Fancy Lad as well, and I don't know, mostly American team as well. But actually, no, I don't even think so, because you have like Bartek and Badu and like a bunch of... Yeah, but anyway. I think... Yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, what is that burst? Every time I play this map, I like forget that it's there, and then... Okay, you know what, whatever. But... Man, okay. I think one of the main reasons I wanted to make this episode is... Okay, obviously to, I think, just share the story, but... I don't know, maybe to like inspire new generation of tournament players that can, I don't know, be inspired by Rubber Conquest and hear of the tale and be like, OMG. So, I don't know, like, I think it would be really cool, sort of... Actually, it was Azer, I think, who sort of put the idea in my head that, like, I don't know, having like established tournament teams that sort of stick together is really, really cool. Although, to be fair, I also feel like there aren't as many community tournaments these days as there used to be for like open rank. At least in my experience, I don't know, maybe I just haven't been looking out for them that much, but I know that there's a theory that like Rubber Conquest killed all of them. Yeah, there was a time where everyone would be like, oh, okay, another tournament for Rubber Conquest to win. Oh yeah, I remember there would be like, I guess, drama about like Rubber Conquest amongst like other top players. It's like, oh, what's the point of signing up for a tournament if Rubber Conquest is just gonna win? And amongst ourselves, we always knew that like there were so many players that could definitely make a team that's like way better, or at least like competitive enough to beat us the majority of the time, I'd say. But yeah, that, I don't know, it's let me think. There were definitely teams that came up, but I think the mental approach to... Okay, let me think. There's something to be said about, like, when you are, like, competing to take someone else's #1 spot, then it's always in the back of your mind that, like, you're setting out to beat that team or that person, right? But then when you are actually that person that's at the, you know, very top, then you don't really have the same approach or like primary goal for playing. You're just kind of playing to have fun, or because it's just what you do, So I feel like there is a mentality difference in that sense that, like, I don't know. Does that kind of make sense? No idea. But yes, anyway, also I wanted to mention, so there's this thing that was teased like a long time ago of like Osu teams basically, or like you would have like, yeah, I think tournaments have always been like hoped on the development side of the game to be like, I guess, very integrated into official Osu, like actual tournaments. And there's been teased this thing of like Osu teams basically, where like you would have like a roster. If you guys remember like the really old like I think League of Legends had something like that. Why is my game lagging? Am I not in full screen? Oh my god, no wonder. I'm not in full screen. Uh-oh. Yeah, let me make sure my recording is still working. Oh no, black screen. Wait, where'd my game go? Huh? Wait, you can still hear it though. But it disappeared. Wait, what? What? Wait, oh shoot. Oh no. Okay, no wonder I wasn't in full screen. Uh-oh. It's not. Oh, okay, I found it. Okay, we're good. Okay, I gotta minimize this. Okay, we're good. Okay, yes. So hopefully, I think with the advent of official like teams that you can sign up for like on your profile, I think that hopefully will pave the way for I guess many people to carry on the legacy, hopefully, of Rubber Conquest with someone out there. So let's actually talk about how Rubber Conquest sort of stopped being a thing. So we were definitely most active throughout 2018, where we were kind of just playing everything. And I think we started just dwindling one by one. I feel like, as far as like actively playing tournaments, I think it was Toy largely who like stopped playing tournaments in, or at least with Rubber Conquest, in like the end of 2018. So Corsi's 2018, I think, was the last, I don't know, the end of an era in the sense of like established Rubber Conquest, like the core 6 lineup being there for like every tournament. And from then on, like we still signed up for tournaments throughout 2019, but it was more of like, how do I put this? We would just like fill the slots with like I don't know, not random people, but like we would just fill them with like whoever we like wanted to, like with no real like care for like, oh, we want to really get in a tournament with this guy. It's more like, yeah, let's just sign up for this tournament for fun. And it ended up becoming like an American-Australian hybrid team. I think especially because Apraxia would hang out with a lot of Australian players, and so whenever we would play as Rubber Conquest, it was just like, oh, let's just have a bunch of Australian players. Oh, but I remember, okay, so post 2018 Rubber Conquest. So let me think. Oh, actually, so in early 2020, actually, we signed up for some tournaments with like, I think Fancy Lad and BTMC. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that sounds right. And we sort of, I don't know how to put it, but like brought them under our wing as like tournament players. I mean, they were already pretty experienced tournament players, but we were like, yeah, let's play some Usu, guys. Let's play some. I think it was TV size tournament or something like that. I'd have to check, but yeah, that sounds right. Why is my volume so low? This map is so good. But oh wait, that's not good. Wait, why am I gonna die? What? Oh my god, no! Wait, I can't recover. I'm assessing. Hello? Okay, hopefully I won't die. Actually, wait, let me just turn on no fail. That's very interesting. It's HP 5. What? Wait, why is it so hard? Okay, anyway. Yes, I think throughout 2019, like we sort of one by one gradually like stopped playing tournaments super actively. I think it was, yeah, like I said, Toy who sort of stopped signing up for community tournaments very actively in I guess the start of 2019. And then I can't really remember what happened next. I think Azer also sort of stopped playing super actively as well, along with, I don't know, I think Monko also, I think by the end of it, I think me and Apraxia were definitely the ones left over that like were still playing very actively. But yeah, I think post 2018 Rubber Conquest was definitely not the same, in the sense of I don't know, not being the same core players, and it sort of just became the name for like Apraxia's team, if that makes sense, because I think Apraxia was usually the captain. Actually, sometimes I was the captain. Actually, okay, here's a thing about captaining for tournaments, is I think a real tournament team has no true captain, and I guess like everyone sort of has a say for strategies and, you know, what exactly goes on. There should be no, I don't know, like superiority sense from the team captain versus the rest of the players, right? So honestly, if you are playing on a tournament team and you're sort of getting that feeling of superiority from your team captain, I think that's actually a bad sign, to be completely honest. I don't think a tournament team environment should be that way. But yes, I think I mostly just wanted to share. Man, there's a lot of stories out there in this game, but yeah, definitely I think there's a lot of legacy to be shared with the whole story of Rubber Conquest. So hopefully you were sort of able to follow along with the story. Let's see. I think, oh, for context, I guess, if you've ever watched Cookiezy's hint cam in recent times, I guess ever since like even before he quit, like a couple of years ago. I mean, he came back right nowadays, but his tablet cover is from Corsair's 2018, which it has the Rubber Conquest name on it. And I think his mousepad also, yeah, so Corsair's prizes, I think as a sort of last hurrah, there were like mousepad and tablet cover, and you can see that, I guess, sort of legacy of that through Cookiezy's hint cam, things like that. But yes, lots of legacy, and hopefully you guys were inspired in some sense, or if not, just maybe getting a I don't know, a share of Osu experience or Osu culture. But yes, just wanted to share that story with you all. Let me switch back to non-full screen. But yes, thanks to everyone listening to my little unstructured story time of Rubber Conquest. Yeah, I think it sort of gradually fell off probably by like mid 2019 or late 2019, as like the vast majority of like the original Rubber Conquest roster just sort of wasn't really active in the tournament world anymore. But you know, always good times to be shared. And yes, with that, if you have suggestions for future episode topics, please leave them in the comment section. I do read all the comments on these videos. And if you're watching in the future, please check out my YouTube channel as well. I upload every single day, and there are many videos to explore over there on the beloved Digital Hypno YouTube channel. But yes, with that also, if you ever get the chance to stop by my live streams, please stop by, say hello. I'd be very happy to see you all there. But yes, with that, we'll see you guys next time.